YouTube, we have a first place Sky Striker regional deck profile. He went 6 wins, 1 draw. He won a 121 player tournament. He won 5 booster boxes. He won a deck box. He won this sick playmat. Sev, it's your first regional win. How do you feel, bro?
I feel amazing, man. It's such a good day, really good time. It's just good to see people too. It's nice having in-person events back.
Great. Guys, do not forget to subscribe, turn on that bell, comment below. Sev said he will answer your questions in the chat box, well, in the comment section below. He will keep stay up to date with that. So if you have any questions about the deck, any ratios, anything you want to know, comment below. And Sev, any shout-outs?
Shout out, so obviously, thank you Jake for having me on the channel.
You're welcome, bro.
Shout out to Dan, Ben and Alan for testing, and shout out Reese, RJ Cars and Supplies, my sponsors, and shout out Chinwagon.
Cool man, let's go into it.
Awesome, so obviously I played 3 Ray.
Yeah.
Just played 2 rows, so obviously playing 40 cards, mathematically correct. I don't own the Brave cards, maybe would have played those if I had them, but I think 2 in this sort of list is good. It's like mathematically optimized, 5 normal summons in 40 cards, going second. 1 rotor, obviously Searcher's Ray or Searcher's Rays if you already have Ray. It's just like solid, these are like your, the main cards of the deck, right? You need to have extra deck to play. Then sort of more starters, played 3 Pots of Prosperity. I chose to play this, honestly, I didn't really test much for this event. I just played this last time and thought it was really good, so I decided to play it again. Most of the time I just banished like the access code stuff and then like the Furtek I had Fusion Destiny, Kaina, and then like sometimes the second Harte, sometimes the second Shizuku. Third Kagari, and then the third Shizuku. And occasionally, I think I banished the second Harte once. But aside from that, yeah. But it was pretty good all day, like, because of some of the other cards I was playing in my main side, I was playing board wipes, so like having 2 of them into like a trap board like against Judgment is like really nice. Like this hit me evenly for the second one against Eldritch. Nice. And I went battle phase evenly, he Judgmented, and I just activated the second one, so it's just, they're just winning the game.
How important would you say Prosper's in the deck?
I would say pretty important still, like, because obviously the deck can brick, like when hands with the Destiny Fusion bricks like really suck. So Prosper's like, it's good if your hand is bad, and it's also good if your hand is good, because a lot of the time you can hit like Fusion Destiny, you can hit like an extra hand trap, you can hit like a Widow Anchor, a Shark Cannon, like, I don't know, just it pretty much always advances your game state, which is what this deck does. It wins more resource.
And it's a spell as well.
Yeah, and it's a spell because it's a spell engrave. The only conflicting thing is obviously you can't draw off engage the turn you use it, but generally you don't really want to activate engage on your first turn. It's generally like technically a turn 4 card because you're blinding second. But yeah, no, it was really good for me all day. Like, it got ashed a few times, but like it was, every time I activated it, it was really good. Then we played Fusion Destiny and the 2 bricks. I actually ended up with both of these in my hand 3 times today, and I still managed to win the game. Some of those games, I won one of those games, the other 2 I lost, but I think they were pretty lost anyway because my opponents scythed me. Yeah. This is crazy, obviously I'm playing Verte in the extra deck, but yeah, no, hands where you have this as well, it's just like, they sort of, like your Sky Striker stuff just trades like really well into a board, and then you just slap down the Fusion Destiny, it's just like extra grind and obviously trades, and you get the draw 2 off this, which in this deck is like insane because you just want to, the more resources you have, like the better off you'll be. Then we played, so for Sky Striker cards, we played obviously the 1 engage. It'd be really funny if this card came back to 2, I don't think it will though. 1 Hornet Drones. I hard drew this card in my final round, and like I sacked my opponent with it, which was very unfortunate, but like, I don't know. Yeah, it's really good, but obviously this card's like silly, I don't think it can ever come back to more than 1. 1 roll. I still chose to play roll, and I also still chose to play Area 0 actually, so a lot of people are cutting these cards. I sided out roll a fair bit. I kept Area 0 in, since sometimes, if I think my opponent's going to make me go first, I kept this card in, because actually I did roll Area 0 one time, which was nice, and also I Area 0 and hit a Widow Anchor, Area 0 target Ray, Chain Ray, hit Widow Anchor, which was really nice, which like against Drytron was like really nice. It gave me the extra like disruption that I needed to not lose to him. But yeah, in future, I don't know if I play these cards. And I very often sided this out game 2, going either first or second, just because it doesn't advance your game state on that turn and doesn't stop your opponent from playing. Then we played 3 Red Anchor. Obviously, I don't think you're going to play less than 3. This card is just like, it's crazy. It's like the main reason to play the deck. I chose to play 1 Shark. I was conflicting between 1 and 2 Shark, but I really wanted to keep this deck to 40, and I couldn't really find anything else that I would not want to play. And obviously, like you have 3 Kagari, you can always loop this card. You have roll, and a lot of the time, like the main thing to hit with this is like DPE. And then obviously, like a lot of the time, you're just adding it off of Shizuku during the end phase, and then just hitting a DP during the end phase. So yeah, maybe play 2 in the future. I played 1 Eagle Booster. This is another card that I probably want to play 2 of. Like this card sometimes just like wins you the game. Like they're trying to get your Kagari, and you just Eagle Booster it. You get your engage, and it's just like it's another one of those cards that are just 1-for-1s, but obviously it's protecting something that's going to give you advantage, like Hayate or Kagari or Shizuku. So yeah.
Or Furtek.
Yeah, oh yeah. Didn't come up today, but it has come up in the past when I was playing this deck. Then I played 1 burner. So obviously I'm playing blind second. In previous formats I was playing 2 of this, but for this format, because of Scythe, obviously this card does not deal with Scythe. It's mainly just like an engine piece. You don't really want to draw it. It's mainly for the situations where you just search with engage. A lot of the time you're just killing something in the extra monster zone with it to bring back Rose. I did that today. I had engage, added this, obviously drew off engage, popped their extra monster zone, summoned back the Rose and negated their DP with Rose, and it's just curtains after that, it's game. So that's it for the striker cards. Then the main reason to play the deck was the blind second cards. So I chose to main deck 3 Lightning Storm for this event. I'm not sure whether this choice was correct, but I thought the card was pretty decent, as I predicted that a lot of the room was going to be on either like Eldritch or like the 60 card like Pile deck, the Cyberx Eldritch deck, which I think is pretty strong. I played it against Eldritch once and this Cyberx Eldritch in the final. And this card was like really good all day. Like the best trade I had with it was against Flunderies, where he had he duality'd into Cooled By. He had like Dreaming Town, map, the continuous spell, Unknown Winds, the Cooled By that he set, and then a blank, and then like I just main phase 1 first action, just Lightning Storm for 5, game 1, which was like disgusting. Like the game was just over after this resolved. Like yeah, he just lost. Then hand traps, 3 nib. This card was like crazy all day. This is the reason I won the finals, and also the reason I beat my like Drytron opponents, because I just had this card. So yeah, they like clear my board, I just nib them, then yeah, just like normal raid the turn afterwards. It's like even if you like, if I got made to go first quite a lot, and even then, like a lot of the time you just end phase searching engage off of Shizuku, and like you sometimes have another starter in hand already. And this card is just like, they go through like your whole board, your Widow Anchors, like your imperms, hand traps, and this you just drop it on them, and then they just like, it's just such a good equalizer for this deck. Another really nice interaction is like when you have Rose Engrave and you nib them, and then you can like summon back the Rose too, and obviously if they can't kill the Rose, then you already have extra deck access again without having to normal summon anything. So yeah, this was like definitely the best hand trap of the deck, and I'm really glad I main deck 3. Then I chose to play hand traps that complemented nib well, so I chose to play 3 Imperm. This is like the best one. It doesn't lose to talents, which quite a few people are playing. I got talents like a few times today, but both times against my striker Mirror, he just drew off of it because he was like lacking cards. But yeah, really good. Obviously, like nib chain Imperm, like solid.
Yep.
Same reason I chose to play Effect Failure. This one's like obviously slightly worse because you can't. It's like not the best sixth card, but it has. It's a tuner. I'm playing the Hout stuff in the extra deck, the Houtilian access code. But yeah, no. It actually won me the game against Drytron because I drew this rather than Imperm, because he had the Herald Link 2, which negates spells and traps. So I had this and Nib, which won me the game.
Nice.
And then, yeah, I chose to play 3 Ash. Obviously, this one's pretty standard. Like, Ash is like not the best card like ever, but it's always like a solid 1-for-1, and it like it's useful against every deck, right? Like even against like the trap decks that it trades with the Scarlet really nicely. Like there's no Eldritch on board now. Their Conquistador's like dead. So yeah, I would not play this card. It's just solid basically. And then my last cards were 2 Ghost Ogre. I wanted to play like more than 12 hand traps. 14 was a bit of a weird number, but obviously I had the 3 Storms also, so like 17 Ghost second cards, and then my engine is also like the Widow Anchors are like 20 cards. Yeah, this trades with the Griffin really well, so it's another thing. Like a lot of the boards now are ending on like Griffin plus like Dagda Scythe. So if you open this plus Nib, it's another combination, like in Permavela. So you have 8 of those cards on their turn that if you draw them, you just like with Nib, you just clear their board, and then you're probably just winning from there because that's what Striker does.
Okay.
Extra deck. So I just play 3 Kagari.
Yep.
I think this is very standard. 3 did come up for me today. Occasionally I banished the 3rd one off of Posterity in games where my hand was like decent, I guess. Like I had enough resources where I didn't think I would need the 3rd. But yeah, I did make the 3rd one of this quite a lot today, and it did come up, and it was good. Then I chose to play 3 Shizuku. This one always gets banished off of Prosperity if I'm banishing 6. But yeah, like basically you're always just searching engage off this. I don't think I searched anything else on the first turn bar engage. I chose to play only 2 Hayate. I don't think you need the third one of this because I'm playing the Halk stuff. Like you can punch with this twice for 15 and then access code is 53, which is game, and I'm not playing upstart, so there's no risk of not gaming them.
Okay.
Yeah, generally, I don't know, like I was making this like pretty much the first thing you make every game. But yeah, I don't think the third one is needed. Then I played 1 Kana. This always got banished off of Prosperity. But it came up once where I DP popped my own Area 0 and my Verte because he had an Eldritch that couldn't be destroyed because it was summoned off of its own effect. And then I summoned Ray and then Kana'd his Eldritch so he couldn't clear my DP, which was pretty nice. Then I chose to play 1 Zeke. This card's pretty good. Like you make this most games, especially going second. It helps you like climb. Like you can Widow Anchor take something, make Zeke banish another card, and if you have Rose, you can summon Rose back and then like make Verte. So it's pretty nice. I think I would only play 1 of this currently, but in past formats I have wanted to play 2. The effect to send a card and gain a K did come up also, because it allowed me to gain a K and summon a guy from my extra deck when my Flunder opponent had 4K, so I just gamed him. Then I played Hulk, Celine, and Access Code. I still think this package is pretty good. I considered playing, cutting these 2 and playing the Dark and the Wind Charmer, but I didn't test them and I figured that this was still pretty strong, so I decided to play it. It came up once to me today, where I made Hulk and then my opponent just scooped because I was just gaming them with it. But yeah, no, it was solid. A lot of the time I just banished it off of Prosperity though. And then obviously the Verte and the DP. This card was crazy all day, like it's the reason I won like most of my games. Yeah, like super solid card. I think like if your deck's not playing this and all the Brave stuff, like what are you doing? Like it's just too good.
Just on the extra deck, what do you usually banish when you banish free cards? What would you usually banish for free?
Banishing off Prosperity for free. If I have Fusion Destiny, it's this, the Kana, and then I think the third Shizuku most of the time. If I don't have this, then I usually banish. Sometimes I also banish these 3 depending on the matchup.
Okay.
So yeah, the Huxley and the Access Code, because a lot of the time you don't actually need them. As I said, it only came up once to me today.
Then when you banish 6 as well?
6. Again, if I have Fusion, if I don't have Fusion Destiny, I'll keep this obviously. This, these 3.
Oh right, yeah.
And then usually either the third Kagare or the third Shizuki, depending on the
I'm sure
matchup.
that's going to be one of the most commonly asked questions.
Yeah, I think so. It's quite a difficult decision. It's very matchup dependent. It's also dependent on your hand, like every game, and then obviously the 2 tokens. Shout out Yu-Gi-Oh. Nice.
Side
deck.
Yeah, side deck.
So the side deck was like very weird. I figured that people would make me go first, especially if they saw the Lightning Storm game 1. So I figured this card would be like absolutely crazy, and it was. Like every time I drew this, like I drew 1 off of it, it puts a spell engrave, and then my opponent passes turn because their deck just adds cards, and they don't want to give my deck more advantage because that's just how I win. Yeah, this card was definitely like the best card in the side deck. I activated it twice today when I got made to go first, and like my opponent just searched and then passed. Like, yeah, it was crazy. I also chose to play Different Dimension Ground for going first. I sided 6 for going first. This card's like, it conflicts with DP if you already have it, but like a lot of the time, it just shuts off your opponent's turn. Like against like Prank Kids, against Phantom Knight, like they need their graveyard to play, and this just like it just says you just pass your turn. Like you can't play that turn, you're just passing. Like maybe you set up some Brave stuff, but obviously like my deck just cracks that really easily. And this paired like with like hand traps, obviously striker cards, it's just like it's nuts. The reason I chose to play these 6 cards specifically with the 3 Shared Rise was because I wanted to only play Chainable back row. So I considered Sanctum, but I wanted something that was good and to like, I didn't really want to play the brick. Like this deck already has like the DPE bricks. Yeah. So, and especially with an only 5 card hand when I was going first, I wanted cards that would like just be live. And obviously this just draws you more cards, so which is why it's so good. But yeah, like obviously people like to side back row removal against Sky Striker. And the game plan was to only have like chainables, so like just hand traps plus these basically. Then for going second, technically I did side this first also. 3 Cosmic. Okay. I figure this would be like the best like generic back removal since it's also an Alter Scythe paired with like any other negation card for the Griffin, assuming they have it. It comes up versus like it's really good versus Eldritch because you can banish the trap, which takes away like their resource. Against like Prankids, which I actually didn't play against today, which is a pretty hard matchup, you can banish the fusion spell if they only set one. Against Flunder, you can banish their trap or their map. Yeah, it's just like generically really good, and I chose to play this because I want card advantage. I don't want to be discarding cards. I felt Twin was like one card from your hand is like a lot of the time it's not worth it. Whereas this, my deck doesn't lose to Lancia, so I can play Cosmic.
Okay.
Then for going second, I played 3 evenly match. The main reason to play playing this deck blind second is I just have like board wipes basically, like cards that just like swing the advantage of the game into my favor. And like with Lightning Storm and Evenly, like resolving this is like you generally just win the game a lot of the time. I also came up once where I had Ray on board. I went battle phase, end of battle phase, rare effect, and then chained evenly, which is really nice. So yeah, I got my Kagari. It was good. Yeah, I was like able to resolve engage afterwards, but it's just like it just trades really well into a board. One time also, I prosperity for 6. I had one of these in hand already. I hit the second one. This was round 1 against Eldritch, game 3. And I evenly, he judgmented, and I activated the second one, which is really nice. So yeah, just like crazy. And then the last card in my side deck was Free Rogeki. I sided these a few times today. I was sitting at 12 cards in my side deck, and I didn't really know what to side. And I figured that like if I play against any like combo decks like Dragon Link and stuff, this card is like crazy into it, right? Because at worst it puts a spell engrave, and at best it clears the whole board, and like out seal and stuff like that, which this deck has a problem with because they just bounce when you normal summon Ray, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I actually didn't get to activate it at all today, but it was kind of funny. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's the deck.
Any changes to the main side extra?
Obviously side maybe wouldn't play the Rogeki, but I think the rest of it was fine. The main, if I had the Brave stuff, I'd probably test that. I'm not sure what I would cut for it. I haven't really thought about the format that much because I've been so busy studying. But yeah, no, I was really happy with the deck. It performed well. Yeah, like Lightning Storm and Nib were probably the 2 MVP cards.
Yeah, great, right, Steph, well done for winning the regional, your first regional win, and it was a good one as well. Look at the prizes you won, man, I bet you're feeling pumped, but congrats.
I'm feeling great.
All right, man, pleasure.